Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I hear there's sad news to report on the passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner at the age of 54 years old. Malcolm-Jamal Warner is probably best known for the role he played from 1984 to 1992 as the only son of the Huxtable clan, Theo. Theo's character was initially, the beginning of the show, a troublemaker, kind of a troublemaker necessarily, but kind of like a slacker, right? And on the very first episode, Bill Cosby, uh, his father, Theo Heathcliff Huxtable, portrayed by Bill Cosby, gives him the speech: "Son, I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out of it." It was preceded by Theo telling his father, because Theo he didn't do well academically. He struggled academically. He really wasn't studying, and his room was a mess. So he told his dad, he said, "Listen, what if I'm just a normal guy? Like I'm not like you and mom, you a doctor, mom a lawyer. What if I'm just a normal, everyday, average Joe? And then, so I don't really need school, right? I don't really need to perform well with my grades." And that's what Bill Cosby said. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm your father. I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out. And that really set the tone for the interaction over the next couple of seasons between Malcolm's character and Bill Cosby's character. um, Later, it was discovered in later seasons why Theo was struggling so much with school, and it wasn't just a real nonchalant attitude towards school. It was basically that he had dyslexia, and this hit home with Bill Cosby's, in real life, because Bill Cosby's son, the late Ennis Cosby, who passed away tragically in the late '90s, um, struggled with dyslexia, and Bill Cosby wanted to highlight that as a main theme of the show. And eventually, Theo became in the later seasons. Yeah, so Sean says so sad. In the later seasons, he became a teacher to young kids. Merlin Santana was one of his students, uh, guest starring on the Cosby Show, and the last episode was his graduation from college in 1992. From there, Malcolm went on. He was born in New Jersey, in Jersey City, New Jersey. August 18th is his birthday. He was named after Malcolm X, a combination of Malcolm X and the jazz pianist Ahmed Jamal. Uh, After the Cosby Show was over, he did a lot of other things. He hosted a reading show, teaching kids how to read. He did guest spots on a lot of shows, but it was in 1996 that he landed his second biggest role, alongside comedian. At least what's going on, alongside comedian Eddie Griffin. And from 1996 to 2000, the year 2000, Malcolm Jamal Warner was on that TV show, on that particular television show, Malcolm and Eddie. Now, I never really watched that show, but he won a couple of awards for it. He's also was heavily involved with music. In 2003, he released his debut jazz funk album, the Miles Long mixtape. In 2007, he followed it up with a second album, Love and Other Social Issues. In 2015, he received the Grammy Award for Best Traditional R&B Performance for his cover of Stevie Wonder's Jesus, Children of America. He performed a poem on the track and dedicated to the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School um, in tragedy that occurred in 2012. He performed at the National Black Theater Festival from 2003 onward, in addition to hosting its poetry jam Warner's 2002 spoken word poetry album, Hiding in Plain Sight, was nominated for a Grammy Award for the best spoken word album. So he did a lot of stuff in spoken word and jazz. He was on the TV show The Resident, which was that ran for a couple of seasons. That was the last time I saw him. Um, what I really respected about him was his loyalty to Bill Cosby, because at the time that people were going around throwing Bill under the bus, looking for a paycheck to try and badmouth Bill, Malcolm-Jamal Warner stood by Bill's side, said that Bill was a mentor and that he never saw anything of suspicion regarding Bill. And he was a true friend in that way. He didn't bash the victims. He didn't call the victims liars. He didn't try to, you know, defame the women in any sort of way. He just stood by the man that, basically um, brought him to the dance and made him. So I respect that about him. But yeah, Lisa and Sean, you got anything that you guys want to add? He passed away today tragically, accidental drowning off the coast in Limon, Costa Rica. Such a sad, sad tragedy. Reminds me of, yes, I'm going to go into that. Michelle Thomas was his girlfriend. Lisa is correct. She played the character. She played on Family Matters as Myra, Steve's girlfriend. Um, which basically was competition uh, to Laura. Also, Malcolm Jamal Warner himself appeared on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air one time as a boyfriend for Hillary. So that's an interesting cross pollination of famous black shows. But Theo was a prototype. Theo was a character that many people could look to um, in the African American community and really all communities of people that struggle with learning disabilities and struggle to overcome it. He became much more of a profound character than he was intended to be, honestly, and was really one of the main stars of the show, and was really carrying the show. For him to be such a mentor to these kids in the latter seasons, given where Theo was, and Theo did fuck up a lot. Matter of fact, there's um, there's this one episode of the Cosby Show where Theo buys this expensive shirt, and the shirt is like hundreds of dollars. And Bill Cosby says, his father, says, no 14-year-old boy should wear a shirt this expensive unless he's up on stage singing with his four brothers. Obviously a reference to Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. But Theo had funny episodes like that. The first time we ever are introduced to Adam Sandler, even before he was on Saturday Night Live, was on the Cosby Show as one of Theo's friends. Adam Sandler and Theo and the Cockroach, Carl, Carl Anthony Payne. Later will go on to play Cole from Martin. Martin. Was there, and yeah, that kind of gave Adam Sandler his start on the Cosby Show there as one of Theo's friends. Sean says she was his girlfriend in the Cosby Show too. All right, yeah, she was pretty good. Um, he has one child. He recently in 2024 started his own podcast with Wusu Baraka and Candace Kelly called Not All Hood Podcast to discuss the lives and experiences of Black Americans. He dated Regina King. He has a, like I said, he has a daughter, but he never disclosed who the mother was or anything. He has so much in his discography. He was on Sesame Street. He was on A Different World. He was on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He was on CBS Story Break, which was like he was like LeVar Burton, uh, teaching, advocating literacy, which he won an award for. Malcolm and Eddie. He was on the Shopperella, Dexter, Stripperella. Uh, Listen Up, Community, Read Between the Lines, Key and Peele Show, Major Crimes, American Crime Story. I played a homeless man on Touched by an Angel in one episode. A lot of it was just cameo appearances. Really, after the Cosby Show and after Malcolm and Eddie. But rest in peace to Theo Huxtable, aka Malcolm-Jamal Warner, aka Theo Huxtable. Um, like I said, he was an inspirational character because he didn't start off with everything. He didn't like he wasn't like a perfect kid, but he struggled and he got there and he wanted to make a difference in other people's lives. And just as much as Theo Huxtable wanted to do that in terms of the show, Malcolm Jamal Warner wanted to do that in terms of real life. So peace out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And rest in peace to uh, Malcolm Jamal Warner, aka Theo. Thank you, Lisa, for contributing. Thank you, Sean, for contributing. Love you guys. Peace. Oh, Lisa has more to add. Okay, Lisa, go ahead. Now the floor is yours, Lisa. Open up. Wow, this is very interesting, guys. I'm gonna read this quote. Cosby rep Andrew Wyatt tells TMZ that when Bill got the call that Warner had died on vacation in Costa Rica, it reminded him of being in the studio filming The Cosby Show on January 1997 when he got the call informing him that his son Ennis Cosby was shot in a fatal robbery. Wyatt says news of Malcolm Jamal's death hit him the same way as Ennis's murder. The two used to play together when they were younger and were amazing together. Unbelievable for Bill Cosby to have to witness, and I mean to be alive to witness and to experience the death of his TV son as well as his real son, and it hit him in the same exact way. What a profound thing. I thought it was 97, but I wanted some for sure, so I didn't say the year. But yeah, that was when his son was they were trying to rob his son and they shot him. And like I said, the character of Theo had a lot of Ennis Cosby, in him, uh, inspired from him. You know, like the struggles with dyslexia. Cosby Show was one of the first shows to highlight that. 9 years on a television show. But anyway, rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Thank you, Lisa, for contributing. Thank you, Sean. So, you have anything else you want to add, Sean? Anything else? Okay.